Alright, before we get into the meat of this behavioral model, let's explore a little bit the history behind DISC. And if you want to jump right into the meat, go ahead, skip this session. And this is not like in school, you don't have to stay in every class, so you can go straight to the next video or audio. But if you're interested in history and history of DISC, then stick around. DISC is attributed as being the child of William Moulton Marston. In 1928 he published a book called The Emotions of Normal People. In his book, Marston describes 4 behavioral styles: dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. But he does not create a 4-quadrant model, the one that we know today, the one that you saw on the cover of the book, for example. That's called a 4-quadrant model. But he is the one who comes up with the DISC theory, and then several people later further improved his findings and developed the DISC model as we know it today. And developed it, in fact, so well that it is one of the most popular behavioral styles and personality styles model out there. And we have thousands of trainers around the world going to corporations and conferences and all kind of events presenting DISC, helping people improve their relationships, improve their management skills or effectiveness, improving sales effectiveness, reducing conflict, or all kind of applications. We boast with having more than 150 Fortune 500 companies as our clients. So it became really popular, and it all started with William Moulton Marston. And Marston based his observations on noticing inmates' behaviors, which sounds a little strange, but he chose inmates as the subject of his observations. His book is very difficult to read. I have his book, and it's not an easy read. But without William Moulton Marston, we would have all kind of personality theories, but we would not have DISC. And I'm glad that he did write that book, and I'm glad that other people saw potential in it, because DISC is the easiest to understand and to apply when it comes to understanding human behavior. There are many personality styles and behavioral style theories out there, but none of them are as simple to understand and to apply as is the DISC behavioral model. Now a little bit about William Moulton Marston. Marston was a psychologist at Harvard University, and he was also very multi-talented. He wrote the comic series Wonder Woman, and finally now in 2006 he was inducted in the Hall of Fame of comic book writers. He also developed the first lie detector. Of course, Marston did not come up with the theory of the DISC theory just out of thin air. He didn't just sit down to watch people and he said, okay, I'll develop a theory with 4 behavioral styles. There were many people before him who came up with different theories, and Marston probably based his writings on Carl Jung's work, and Carl Jung based his work on many other people who wrote about behavioral styles and personality styles prior to him. In history, we can go back as far as 400 BC, when Hippocrates wrote his theories of when Hippocrates came up with his bodily fluid theories, saying that a person's temperament is dependent on on how much on what kind of bodily fluids we have more in our body. And he said that a person has either blood, bile, black bile, or phlegm in his body, and dependent of which of these fluids are more in a person's body, that will determine a person's temperament. So that was really interesting, but I say that even though today it sounds a little bit out there, and it was proven that it's totally inaccurate, still it was a big jump from those who said that the stars influence our behaviors or some other strange outside events or outside factors. At least Hippocrates put it on the person and said that depending on how much of this bodily fluid you have, you will have one of these four temperament styles. And he called them choleric, phlegmatic, sanguine, and melancholy. So he was the first one that we know in history that he come up with a theory of four styles. And then, of course, during the history, more and more people studied this, and let's face it, it is one of the most intriguing topic when it comes to human behavior. We all want to know, why the heck do we behave as we do, and why the heck do those people around us behave the way they do? So throughout history, many researchers spent a lifetime developing these theories, until we get back to Marston, and then John Guyer, a gentleman by name John Guyer, took Marston's writings and he further developed it. And in the past 70 years, more than 70 years, several other people took Marston's works and developed it into today's theory. And throughout the past 70 years, many people took the disk theories and further developed it. Just to mention a few, I mentioned John Guyer, and he worked together with Dorothy Downey, and they were also the first who created this personal profile system. And then the research conducted afterwards was built on their findings, but they set a major stepping stone in the DISC behavioral model, or the DISC behavioral style theory. And that's how we got the system that we have today.